Hi there and welcome to Hyundai Power Products. My name is Adrian and today we're going to be looking at this Hyundai HYM510SPE lawnmower and specifically the drive system and analysing what could be wrong if you've got no drive. So before I can even start, there's a few things I need to put right. This particular mower has been put together wrongly. The cables are going behind this bar. These knobs, well, not that it's hugely important, but it should be on the outside, so the bolts are in the wrong way round. And finally, the drive cable has absolutely no resistance on it at all, so it's not going to work. So I need to see what's wrong there and put these handles correct first. So as you can see, I put it correct now with the cables coming forward of this bar and the hand wheels the right way round. And this allows the upper handle to be folded forward for storage. If you haven't gone the other way round and you try and fold the handle forward, there's a good chance you'll damage the cables. So if you do have a damaged cable, cables are readily available from our parts department. So next thing I need to do is see what's going on with this. There's no tension on it and it's extremely loose. So I suspect that the other end isn't attached. There's a little access panel here which can be removed. And you can see the gearbox, the drive gearbox, and I can see this is the other end of the cable and it should be attached in that hole. So I need to put that right first. So I'll just disconnect the cable this end to give me some slack. Okay, and that will allow me plenty of slack at the other end. So there we are, got plenty of slack now. So I can just put this cable back into its little location in the hole in the gearbox arm. So that's back in position. Now that the other end's attached, I suspect somebody's pushed down on the cable with it not connected and it's come off the other end. So I'll just loosen off the handle, pop it back into place and pop that back into place. So let's see, that's better. We've got tension, everything's operating correctly. So I can see that there's a good bit of slack in this cable, probably 20 mil of travel left and right without moving the handle. So I think we need to adjust this drive cable first. So we'll go to the drive cable adjuster and adjust the drive cable because that could be part of the problem why the drive isn't working. So the adjuster for the drive handle is here. This actually has the nut is loose on it. So using an 8 mil and 10 mil spanner, you just tighten that back up. What we would need to do would be to loosen this 10 mil nut here, and then we can unscrew the shorter part of the hexagon, just a few turns to start with, and we'll go back and check the tension on the lever, and we're looking for about 6 millimeters of travel. I'll bring you in on that. Okay, so after those few turns, there's about 6 to 8 mil of travel. Let me just do another little bit more. Okay, so it's not tight, but it's got about 6 millimeters of travel. I can still pull the handle fully, so that's the ideal position. So we need to tighten up the union now. So as you can see, I've made this longer by unscrewing this piece from this piece, and there's a gap there now. So I'll just bring the lock nut forward against the longer hexagon. Again, 8 mil spanner, hold the longer hexagon and tighten the two together. So that's now locked back in position, and that's the drive cable adjusted. So having adjusted the drive cable, you may well now have drive back, and if that's the case, wonderful. If you still haven't got drive on your lawnmower, we need to delve a little deeper, and we're going to need to go underneath the lawnmower and have a look at the belt. So on the 510SPE, I've already removed the plastic plug here, and I can actually see the drive belt around the pulley on the gearbox. This is where we just refastened the wire. Now, I can feel that that drive belt is tight and on all the way round, and I can actually see it for a fair distance into the lawnmower. So I know on this particular mower the belt is fine. So if the belt is fine, I've adjusted the drive lever or the drive position for the drive handle. So then I would suspect that it's this gearbox at fault. If when you look in the back you can see that the belt is not there, broken or has come off, we need to flip the lawnmower upside down to refit the belt or to fit a new belt. So we'll go through that next. So I'm going to tip the lawnmower onto its side. Now ideally you want to remove all the fuel and all the engine oil from the unit, and there is a separate video on doing this. So there's no oil and fuel in this unit, and when I tip it up, I'm going to tip it with the carburetor side up, so this side up. And again, to prevent any starting of the lawnmower, I'm going to remove the spark plug cap for safety. So we'll do that next. So yeah, on the front of the engine here, I'm just going to remove that spark plug cap and tuck it out of the way. Now there's no way the lawnmower can start when my hands are in the blade area. Okay, so I've tipped the lawnmower up on its side, spark plug cap removed. As you can see, this is a brand new lawnmower. We're going to be removing this belt guard here. So I'd probably suggest you give it all a good clean and brush out to get any debris, dirt and build up of grass out of the way first before you start taking things apart. So the first thing we're going to do is take the blade off. So there's a single bolt in the middle, 16mm, which unscrews anti-clockwise. Now I'm wearing gloves for this because the blade may have sharp edges, especially on a used machine where it might have hit stones and what have you. Ooh, dearie me. So I've got, as you can see, a long power bar here with a socket on the end of it. Now I've loosened it off. It should come off with a, with a ratchet now. Now this bolt will be tight. If you've got an impact wrench, that would be the ideal tool for it. It'll be a lot easier to get it off. So I'll undo the bolt. There's a domed washer here. And the domed washer goes on with the hollow side against the blade. And again on the blade, it's got an embossed lozenge on it, with the hollow side facing the boss here and the dome side out. So just remember that when we put it back together. So there's a couple of little guards here. Let me just, top and bottom, crosshead screwdriver. I'll just take this one off first. Okay, and the bottom one. A couple of little self-tappers. Just put them down there safe. And you'll see it comes out in two halves here, which gives us a bit more room to pull this guard off over the top of this boss. So we have two screws here now. One top and bottom, and that's the final two to remove the belt guard. On the other side of the mower, where these two screws come out through the top of the deck, are some little rubber top hats. I shall show you those. Okay, so the little rubber top hats are these here. So when I undo the screws, these could well fall off, but you can just unscrew them by hand first and keep them safe, ready to put back on. So there's one there, and there's another one lower down. Let me just pull that one off. There we are, and that's the second one. So with the little top hats kept safe, I can just undo these two screws. That's the one. That's the second one out the way. And now the guard will just lift away. I'll just give you a shot here before we go any further of the routing of this belt. Across the top here, it's a straight run from the main pulley on the engine to the pulley on the gearbox here, around the outside of this pulley, inside of this one, and back to the top. There are a few little bearings here. When you adjust the different speeds of the mower, this prevents rubbing of the belt on the outside. So there's little bearings here, but it goes on the inside of these bearings. Because as you can see, for the speed adjustment, the belt length changes here when you change between the first and the fourth gear on the machine. And what can happen is the belt is kept in place by these little bearings, so that's quite normal. So that's the routing. So all I'm going to do is take this belt off and show you how you would fit a new belt. So I've just moved the speed lever, the speed changing lever, down into position 1 to give me the greatest amount of slack on the belt. It was in position 4, now it's in position 1. As you can see, that's now giving me a lot more slack in here. so I can take the belt off the front first. I'm going to remove the pulley. Okay, we shall talk about that in a second. Now that now gives me a lot more slack to remove the damaged or worn belt. Okay, so now I'll put it back in position 4. You'll see the speed can change up move. Okay, so that gives me plenty of room here now to get the belt out from this area. Okay, with a 10mm spanner, I'll just loosen this bolt off. I'll probably just remove the bolt altogether. Okay, so that's that little bolt removed, and now the belt will come away. So your belt may well be worn or broken, so we're going to go through the procedure with the machine at this stage of refitting a new belt, and new belts are available from our parts department. So the first thing we would do would be to hook the belt around the top of the drive pulley on the gearbox and onto the little aluminium pulley here. Okay, so then around the bottom of this belt, and we can put the bolt back in. And I'll just do up that bolt. That's tight. So, as you can see, I haven't got a great deal of slack here, so I need to put it back down into the first gear. So I'll do that. Okay, so that's back down into the first gear. So we've got the belt around the pulley, around the outside of this one, inside of this one, underneath these 3 little bearings, and now it will go around the output shaft from the engine. To put the pulley back on, we have this drive key, and there's a matching slot inside the pulley and drive flange. So we'll put the key in the shaft, we'll just line up the 2, and there we are, they're fitting in. So I'll just bring this belt over and onto the pulley as I replace the shaft. Okay, so that's back in position. So just to tension the belt back up again now so that it stays where I put it, I'm going to put the gear back into 4th again. Okay, and that's now tensioned the belt. So around this pulley, around the outside of that one, inside of this one, around the drive pulley, and inside these little bearings here. So that's the belt fitted correctly. When you select different gears on the lawnmower, the gear lever pulls on this cable as you saw and rocks this tensioner here. The top pulley is spring loaded. The more tension that's on it, the lower in the pulley it goes, increasing the speed. So yeah, we've got a variable speed system here. This cable may need to be adjusted. It's quite slack at the moment, but we shall go into this a little later. So now that everything's happy in there, we can replace the belt guard. Just tuck it into position, finding the little grooves that it sits in. Don't think I'm quite in there. Let me just mention, you're wondering why I'm fiddling with this. There's 2 tags on the back which fit into slots in the body of the mower. So I'm just making sure that I've got the 2 tags in position when I refit it. Okay, that's correct. So, okay, let's get these screws the right way round. The screws for here are long, thin ones, in case you've mixed them up, and the shorter, fatter ones are the ones for holding the guard on. So yeah, 2 screws to go in. Just put that one loose. Okay, so I can tighten up on both of them now. Okay, the little plastic guards now. One at a time. Just put that one in loosely. And the top one in with a screw. Okay. Oops. That's that one tight. And the bottom one tight. And the final job, screw the little top hats back on the top of the mower. I'm going to refit the blade now. So back on with the gloves. So, lawnmower blade, square hole here and an elongated hole there. It won't physically go on upside down because this elongated hole goes the wrong way. But a quick look, hollow side and raised side out, and obviously this way round. Again, it won't go on the wrong way round. So that's that in position, so I can just hold it there. Again, the bolt and washer with the hollow side or concave side facing the blade. I'll just do it up so far by hand. There we are, it's not going anywhere. Again, I'm going to get my 16mm socket and a 1/2 inch ratchet, take it so far. Now, I could probably get it tight enough with this ratchet. Using, you know, maximum force that I can put on a 1/2 inch drive ratchet. A power bar will give you a little bit more. I shall do that. Okay, so on with my power bar. Again, I'm holding the blade against rotation, and I've done a bit more on it. Okay, again, an impact gun will be the perfect tool for the job. So that's the blade refitted. Everything's happy. One of the reasons I removed the spark plug cap, if you were to do this, turn it, you're turning the engine over, simulating starting it. If the OPC lever was, you know, against something when I've got it bent down, it's a possibility it would start. Very dangerous. So spark plug cap off. So yeah, everything's rotating and turning as it should. No problems. So I think we can put it back on its wheels now. So we've got the speed adjuster, or the travel speed adjuster, here on the handlebars, and it goes from 4. And I've just put it out of adjustment, but it goes from 4, and as you can see I'm getting down to 1, and I can hardly push it down into first gear. And I can see that this coupling is actually too long. So I've left the nut loose. If I shorten the coupling a little, again very similar to how we adjusted the handlebars or the drive handle, just unscrew it a bit. There, now it'll go into first, second, third, fourth. Now we may have affected the drive on fourth. So if you find it won't go into first, you need to shorten this coupling. If you find that you've got belt slip or your belt coming off, problems with the drive when you're in fourth, then you'll need to elongate this coupling. So exactly the same method as we did when we adjusted the drive handle on the back. Okay, so that actually needs to go a little bit further back to where it was set originally. There we are. So 8mm, 10mm spanner on there now to lock it up. There's the 8. And the 10. And they're locked against each other. And that's all correct and done. So, we've adjusted the drive cable. We've adjusted the different gear cable. We've sorted the belt out with a new belt. Everything's looking good down there and we still have no drive. If this is the case, then contact our after sales department where they'll be more than happy to help you. Well, I do hope you found this demonstration useful. For more information on this or any of our other products, visit www.hyundaipowerproducts.co.uk. I've been Adrian, and thank you for watching.